Welcome to Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. Good morning to the United States of America. Good morning to every nook and cranny in Northeast Texas, Southeast Texas, Northwest Louisiana, Southwest Louisiana, who gets this 100,000 watt signal that we are putting out there. Thank you so kindly for your ears. Thank you so kindly for being here with us, folks. We are going to have a great program for you today. We are going to make sure that things go right. But before we get started, as usual, we begin in the studio where resides the geniuses of KPFT 90.1 FM.
Have you seen any of those, Jack?
What are they?
I don't know. Does it start with a J?
No, I think it starts
G.
with
Oh, a G. Okay. Well, good morning.
We're not geniuses?
You mean like
Like a genie in the bottle?
Yes.
it's like it starts with a G, like good morning, Egberto. It's another fine day at the radio here.
It's another fine mess you've gotten us into.
Oh, that's right. And we are in Fund Drive, currently in Fund Drive, in the thick of it, actually. And we're looking for your support at 713-526-5738, extension number 1. And we have a lot of thank you gifts, and we won't describe any of those right now because we have our interim general manager on the line here to do that. And before we throw it to him, Jack, what you got for wisdom?
All right. Good morning, Egberto.
Good morning, Jack. How you doing this morning, my brother?
All right. I'm good. Mike Miles is a snake in the grass.
Ooh.
When he used one of the methods charter schools use to pull profit out of schools, hiring uncredentialed teachers over credentialed teachers. That was my red flag. The vampires are using the idea of vouchers, i.e. money, to tempt the parents to think that a private school is better than a public school. And they offer the parent money, bribery, to make their student children, to move their student children to a private charter school, which is designed to pull public money into private profit. Your public schools are being undermined by profit-seeking bureaucrats.
Those Grinches.
That was precious.
Oh.
That was precious. And, after Sandy and after we begin with the one and only Neil Aquino, who is here with us today, that's the subject, my brother. And you couldn't have cued it any better, but we'll do that. Sandy, buenos dias, hermano. El señor manager de KPFT 90.1 FM.
Buenos dias. Way to give an ID in Espanol. Hey, this officially starts the second week of our May drive. This is day number 8. So we've gone around the lap, the track one time. We finished one lap. We got this one coming up and maybe one more after that. It really depends on you because we're trying to collect $150,000 over the course of our May drive to power us through the summer months and pay every single bill. Our cost is about $52,000 a month, and this money is going to go toward paying the balance of what's left over from this month, May, and then June and July, and a little bit into August. Altogether, about 3 months worth of expenses are covered by this drive. And really good news, and a big thank you to KPFT listeners, because already we've collected $56,448 from 349 different donations. You could be the 350th and get us off the zero, the schneid for week number 2 here on this Thursday morning. If you're just pouring that first cup of coffee, well, good. You're upright, you're awake, and you're getting ready for your day. And if you're out on those roads listening to us and we ask you to pledge, get somewhere safe before you do that. Our phone number is 713-526-5738. That's 713-526-5738. The 5738 incidentally spelled out KPFT for those of you with rotary dial phones. There may be still a couple of you out there. I don't know. Call that number, hit option 2. And if you have a rotary dial phone, use the internet. That's probably a better choice. I don't know if you could actually connect that way, but if you don't, push number 2 and you will be able to speak to someone in the donation center, or mouse it over to kpft.org and click donate. We do have a number of thank you gifts, and I'll start out by mentioning what might be my favorite, which is a 32-ounce stainless steel tumbler with our logo on it and an internal straw, keeping the cold drinks cold, the hot drinks hot, and displaying proudly that KPFT logo that lets everybody know that you support community radio. 713-526-5738. Egberto.
Thank you very much, Sandy. And folks, don't forget, while we're talking, while we're in the program, if you can go ahead and contribute right now, we get a chance to thank you on air from this whole team. And this morning, we have a big team because we are inclusive now. Included now is El Señor Neil Aquino from the Houston Democracy Project. Neil, how are you doing this morning, my brother?
I'm doing well, Egberto, studio, and vast global Politics Done Right audience. Good morning. It's an excellent day ahead.
Yes, we're going to have a good one. But anyway, so folks, please remember, give us a call, 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate. Now, here's the thing. Before I get to Neil, and Neil starts with his first subject, let's go ahead and do that now, if you will. I ask you so kindly. And let me tell you, we have Sandy has this real good plan that we're trying to do here at KPFT. And that is, we want to have a huge body of small donors giving a tiny bit every month. And that will eventually alleviate the pain that we have in interrupting the regular flow of programming to ask you for money. If we can get several thousand people doing $5 a month or $10 a month, I do $10 a month myself. If we can get more people doing that, we can have very few. We could probably reduce this to one fund drive just to re-up some of the, bring a few people in for additional costs. But we could have full programming after that. So think about it. If you have never given before, but you do like our program, think about 1 coffee a month or 2 coffees a month or 3 coffees a month. Think about it. It won't hurt you. You won't feel it. You'll be doing a great thing because you would be a part of sustaining what we call a sustaining membership and keeping us on air. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Folks, even though we're in fund drive, please don't leave us. We are giving you a full program, both here on air in between pitching, but also remember you can always go to politicsandright.com/newsletter to get the information that we don't cover on air today. But Neil, good morning. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm doing well. It's another day in the big city.
Now, I know that we have some elections coming up. HCAD is one of them, as well as the tax assessor collector primary. And you did you do what you do best. And that is you put those politicians on the spot and you get commitments out of that. Tell me a little bit about that.
Right. So this is a blog post that I wrote on my Houston Democracy Project blog, and I encourage you to come to the Houston Democracy Project, read the blog. It's a daily blog, and there's a front page and some pictures as well. And last week I was in a forum on with a group called Swing Texas Left, which is a great volunteer group.
Great
a lot
group.
of our volunteers should in fact be paid money, but they're a great volunteer group. And there was a forum for the position of Harris County Tax Assessor, Collector, and Voter Registrar. And that's a position now held by Ann Harris Bennett, who is leaving the office. So there are 2 Democrats remaining in the race, Desiree Broadnex, who's worked in the office, and Annette Ramirez. And there was a 75-minute Zoom, and there's a lot of topics about the office and all that. But my main focus is issues of democracy. And one of those is we need our elected officials to advocate for people other than themselves, for the full slate. In this case, the Democratic slate. I know this is officially a nonpartisan show, but for the Democratic slate, these are the people, because our elected officials are always telling us, vote, vote, vote. Frequently when we police, we're over-policed, often by the same elected officials we voted for. There's a role for protest and other things, but in this case, we were talking about voting. And Ms. Broadnax and Ms. Ramirez were on the show, and I asked them both, will you participate in the larger Democratic Party coordinated campaign for 2024 that's run by the Harris County Democratic Party, where candidates contribute money to the main coordinated campaign? And will you hold a fundraiser or a block walk for our HCAD? So that's the Harris County Appraisal District that's related to the tax assessor. The tax assessor actually works with the HCAD board, and that's the June 15th race. It's confusing. The primary is March 28th. That's a primary that involves about 10 races, including the Molly Cook Jarvis Johnson race. The upshot is I had access to these candidates. Often you can get access to the candidates by attending a forum, seeing them when you're going to vote, going to a campaign, emailing them. I had access just because I was a regular citizen. It was nothing special. I asked them both, will you participate in the coordinated campaign and otherwise? And Miss Broadnax hesitated a little bit, and Ms. Ramirez did not. So I asked Ms. Ramirez specifically, you conduct a block walk, or will you hold a fundraiser for the HCAD, the Appraisal District Democratic slate of Melissa Noriega and Palumi Adelke? I know there's an awful lot of elections this year, but between May 28th, if you win, and June 15th, and she said yes. There's about 40 people heard that, and we're going to hold her to it. So the upshot of it, you can get access. I had no special access. This woman is, both women are running for a countywide position in this giant county. The stakes are high. Democracy's on the ballot. They always tell us that. It's true. I use that access to ask a specific question, got an answer. I'll have the ability to hold her to it through social media and asking her specifically. And we all have that access. We all have that access. We all have that access.
You know, Neil, it is interesting because I have a few callers that call in sometimes and talk about being scared about the results of the election that's coming up. And, you know, they hear the polls and they see that the person that really that shouldn't ever really govern a country may be leading in the polls right now. Right. And many people are, scared stiff. And my statement is nobody should be scared at all. They should be out there talking. They should be out there telling people what they know. They should be out there not just saying not vote for X and vote for Y. They should be out there engaging people and letting them know why it is they're urging them to vote a certain way for the better good of the country, the city, the state, etc. Welcome aboard E2247 on the chat. Thank you for all that good information you're putting out there. But yeah, so it is important that people, and you just said it, engage. Find out if there's a forum going on with candidates. It's all over Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere else, and the newspapers. Find out when and where they're going to be. And the thing is just simply show up and talk. When a candidate hears them, go ahead.
And let me make the point for people who feel the apprehension and fear, because it is a mental health crisis. The prospect of an authoritarian government is a reason for fear and anxiety. We have big ticket county races. The race for sheriff, the Republican running for district attorney was part of the 22 election denial suits, and full on to the right. And the sheriff. But you can email and ask them. And you also got to remember, it's not all on you. These candidates have access to resources. Many of our safe incumbents. One of the things at the Houston Democracy Project is to consistently ask our safe legislative incumbents to be involved. A candidate in the Chronicle last week, or it was 2 weeks ago, Molly Cook, will be Senator Molly Cook tomorrow, I believe. Molly Cook has pledged in the Houston Chronicle in an interview that she will work hard for the full Democratic slate. She pledged that. Now, we need to keep her to that. There's nothing. A lot of people are excited about Molly's race, and I understand that. This young woman.
When is her race now? When?
So this is, again, all a little confusing. Molly Cook will be sworn in as senator tomorrow for the remainder of John Whitmire's term that ends in late December, early January, whenever it is, at the end of the year. And then on May 28th is the primary for the full term. So the primary was on March 5th. State Representative Johnson and Molly Cook advanced. And now that's for the full term. So it's a little confusing. It's a given that Molly Cook will be senator through the end of the year. That was very, very, very low turnout. That was the day that the HCAT elections were held. The 3 slots, Kathy Bluford Daniels won one of them outright. That was May 5th, I think it was. And then the full term election is May 28th. So Ms. Cook, Senator-elect Cook, will be a senator through the end of the year. And then somebody else, her or Jarvis Johnson, will be the senator for the full term beginning. But she has pledged to help the full slate, and they have an obligation to do that. And you can email them or ask them, or you see them when you're going to vote and they're there, or there's a forum in your community or a local Democratic club that you attend, or just simply email them and ask them. And that is very true of, Carol Alvarado, Armando Wally, Anna Hernandez, Alma Allen, Sinfronia Thompson, all of our state reps and state senators. Ask them. Democracy's on the line. Ask.
Sinfronia has been serving us for a long time. One of our great Congress people in the Texas legislature. In fact, I used to speak to her quite often on the issues on the floor. Now, also, it was great to see that. Go ahead.
Let me say this: she has donated to the coordinated campaign. She actually has donated whatever sum of money it is to the Harris County Democratic campaign for the full slate. There are state legislators who have been asked. I know this from speaking to party officials, so I know this. There are state officials, representatives who have been asked by the party to coordinate, and they have hedged or just outright said no. State Representative Sinfronia has done so.
Representative Sinfronia Thompson is called the dean of the House. She's been there so long, representing her district for so long. Molly Cook, we had Molly Cook on a couple of times here. It's good to see millennials really jumping at our legislature and doing it. So for millennials that are running, if you hear or if you see you talk about in District 15, when we're talking about Molly Cook, that is one of your peers. I told Molly I was very excited for her win because, again, it's a new generation coming up with new ideas and new thoughts. So, folks, remember to go to that election on the 28th and, pick your candidate, but pick wisely. Before we continue here, I want folks that are listening, I'm going to do a little bit of pitch. Then we're going to go into charter schools. And this is local, but a national story that we need to cover. But anyway, before I hand it off to Sandy, I just want to ask you to give us a call at 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Extension number 1. We're asking for your support for this station. Look, we are very relevant, especially in these times. Important, especially in these times, these very difficult political times. If there's one place you can get unhindered, notice I said unhindered information, and not only that, frank information, honest information is what we do here at KPFT, because we are not restricted by what would hurt corporations or whatever. If you are being funded by corporations, what happens is you better make sure your message doesn't touch them too hard, if you know what I mean. We don't have those restrictions because we are supported by whom? We're supported by you. And again, people ask, why is it that things don't go our way. Why is it that we don't know these things? That is because, again, other people are pulling the strings for you. When you own a station, when you fund a station, their loyalty is solely to whom again? That's to you. We tell you the unadulterated truth, and we also do a good job of informing. So I'm asking you so kindly to give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1. And give whatever you can, whether it's a one-time donation, whether it's a $120 donation for a Politics Done Right t-shirt as a thank you gift. That's a beautiful t-shirt, dark black, blue lettering with the KPFT logo in there. It's really, really nice. Make you look good. Again, but one of the things we're asking as well is to come in as sustainers if at all possible. That's, $5 a month, less than a cup of Starbucks coffee, and you are helping a station grow. $10 a month, which is a level at which I can afford. That's what I do, $10 a month. Some people can afford $25 a month. And for that, they can get a brick with an insignia on it on our Walk of Fame here at KPFT. And if you feel a bit more generous, $50 a month. And that gives you an 8x8 brick that put whatever insignia you want on that brick. But folks, we need you right now. I am at exactly 0. So I'm asking you so kindly to please, while we're in this short pause for pitching, we're getting back into charter schools and some other stuff right after this pitch. So why don't you take this 2 or 3 more minutes that we have for pitching and call in right away? You can still hear the program. Call in now. 713-526-5738. 713-526-5738, extensión número 1. Por favor, llámame. Nosotros estamos aquí para ti. All right, let's go. Sandy, how you doing, my brother? Our general manager.
I'm doing okay over here, just watching the wheels turn around. I'm glad you're doing this show, and I'm glad for the topic today. Think about it. You can't make money as a successful businessman? You don't worry about it. Run for politics. Then figure out a way. And then siphon the money from a school program. Beautiful. Hey, 713-526-5738. That's our phone number. We have those T-shirts. We have those insulated mugs. We got the coffee beans. We got thank yous. And we're waiting to hand one out. Be the first this morning. Yesterday, it took a little while to get going, and people were really generous, and I do so appreciate it. This morning's program, we're going to end at 9 o'clock because we're going to cut to Amplified Houston. And so we're just going to keep going here through the morning. I'm getting ahead of myself. We may run over a little bit again on this show for Into Democracy Now! In order to raise those funds. We have a small $300 goal every morning. And you can start. Just make a pledge. $5 a month. That's $60 a year. Those $60 will be matched by $58 more. So you're talking about amplified. Your donation would be just about doubled, $5 a month. If you can do a little more, $10 a month, that would be great. If you've had a sustaining membership for some time, and let's say you signed up $5 a month when we asked last year, consider maybe upping that to $7.50 a month or $10 a month. That little bit of money coming from you, along with everybody else, adds up to a powerful, raging torrent that will allow us to reduce fund drive days, but moreover, allow us to keep KPFT into the future with much better definition thereof. 713-526-5738 or kpft.org. Egberto.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, that term that you, Sandy, raging torrent, these trickles turn into a raging torrent. I'm a nerd, right? So whenever I'm talking about rivers, I always like to go ahead and see where the head of the river is, a head start. Sometimes it's a lake. Sometimes in the case of Texas rivers, it just starts from water seeping out of the sand or something, out of the clay and all. I mean, it's amazing. But that is so true what Sandy just said. you can start a torrent. Everybody that gives $5 a month, $10 a month, $15 a month, $20 a month, $25 a month, you start something and it aggregates and it turns into a lot that we can actually do something with at this station. Remember, most of us, except for one or two people, are all volunteers here. We dedicate our time. And you know what is the amazing thing? And as above and beyond volunteering, we are also contributors to this station because we see the value. So give us a call, 713-526-5738. I'm still at a big donut hole, which means 0. So give us a call, 713-526-5738. Before I start on Miles, Mike Miles, I am going to ask Aquino to give a quick, short pitch, and then we'll get into those charter school things. So, Neil.
Great. Thank you. This show or the station, but this show specifically is very worth contributing to. A lot of work and preparation Egberto puts into it, preparing a newsletter, preparing content, video clips ready to go every day, a topic every day. A lot of work goes into it. The geniuses in the studio up very early, a lot of work and preparation, and then the show is always themed. Egberto might have a topic, but callers wish to discuss something else. It's always flexible and geared to the listeners every day. So this is a democratic forum. You have the ability to come in, dictate the topic, talk about the topic, or talk about what others are talking about. So this is a very listener focused program. A lot of preparation. A lot of care. I'm a donor. Egberto's a donor, and we're asking you to help keep it going.
Thank you so kindly, Brother Neil. Neil Aquino, folks. Okay, let's get into Mike Miles. It drives me crazy for a particular reason. We talk about having agency in something. We also talk about accountability. We also talk about personal responsibility. All those things are things that all of us believe in. But when it comes to our Republican leadership, they want everybody to follow this, right? So HISD has some problems. The Houston Independent District has some problems, but it did merit a coup to take over the school. Mm-hmm. But that's what we got. We got a coup. The Abbott sent his peons out here to do that. Mm-hmm. And in that, they brought their genius. And this now goes into what Brother Jack Van Weber had to talk about, Mike Miles. Mike Miles was once the superintendent of the Dallas School District. And as soon as he was released or quit or however they do it out there, he went ahead and he formed 3 charter schools in Colorado, right? And these charter schools that he formed were all unsuccessful. But it's not a surprise. Mm-hmm. Look, let me point this out, people. Charter schools, there is no, unless you are going to a well-funded charter school that is likely have a whole bunch of rich people, there is no charter school that in the aggregate does better than public schools. And it's a math thing. I'm going to get specifically into Mike Miles in a minute, but it's a math thing. Let's do some math. The public schools get money, X amount of dollars from the taxpayer to educate the kids. We have a lot of public schools. We have a great high school in Kingwood, or a great 2 high schools in Kingwood. We have great schools in Humble, in this one school district that I'm in, Humble School District, etc. But if you take a look at how monies are allocated, they're generally not too fair. And I imagine you can see that in the Houston Independent School District as well. So the thing with public schools is we want equity, but we have the ability to have equity because each student get the same amount of money, whether you're in a bad neighborhood, good neighborhood, whatever, get the same amount per student. How that is allocated throughout the system, that is done by administrators. Now, when we're talking about a charter school takes private dollars, take your public dollars, And with your public dollars, they do one thing. They skim. In other words, if it's a for-profit, and by the way, they like to say, well, this charter school is a non-profit. And while this other one may be for-profit, forget about all those terms. When it comes to schools, it's there for administrators to make money for themselves. When you go ask any charter school what the administrators make in those private schools, you'll be quite surprised. All right? But above and beyond, if a private school is also a for-profit school, it has to make a profit above and beyond that as well. And teachers. Now, what about our teachers? The teachers in these charter schools, and especially specifically in Texas, doesn't have to have the same qualifications as they do in the public schools. In the public schools, you have to have all your certifications, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In your charter schools, you don't. In your public schools, teachers in tendency to get better pay than your charter schools. Now, we are in a system that says you get what you pay for. In other words, if you want a good teacher, you pay that teacher a good salary. Why you have a lot of people that otherwise would teach becoming engineers in the private sector or lawyers or doctors and not teaching even though they have an affinity to teach is because, teachers are not compensated as they should. I believe some of the highest paid people on this planet, bar none, should be teachers. They are the ones that move our knowledge forward generation to generation to generation. These are the most important people on the planet. Whatever kind of teacher you are, college, high school, elementary, I don't care. You are the ones. In Panama, where I'm from, we look up to teachers as if, at least at the time that I was there, they were the promoters of education. They were the people moving knowledge forward. When you go to a grocery store and you see a teacher, you stand up at attention. This is a person of dignity. In Panama, la licenciada, el licenciado, this teacher, this licensed teacher. Over here, we have a tendency to treat them as if they're the scraps. The person who can't get an engineering job, even though most of the teachers that I know, most of the teachers that taught my daughter, I honored them because the patience that they have. They spend more time with our kids than many of us spend with our own kids, the most important people on this planet. Yet, we always fund them last, and we try to cut their salaries with charter schools. A charter school, you got a charter school, you don't have to give them health care. You don't have to get them certified. You don't have to do all these things. So they love charter schools, and then they go into black and blue and black and Latino and all these other communities, because remember, every student get the same amount of cash from the state. So if you go into these poor neighborhoods who have bad schools that shouldn't be bad because they all get the same, these charter schools invest their monies into advertising to convince these parents who are attending bad schools, put your student in this charter school. So they also get a cream of the crop, right? Because the parents that are nurturing their kids in these bad areas, they know they want better. And as opposed to society doing better for their kids, these parents there throw them into the charter schools, which may be a tad bit better than your regular schools. But here's a kicker. This brother who came to take over our school district, Miles, he was a failed administrator on all the charter schools that he commanded. Failed administrator. All those schools did horrendously bad when compared to all the other schools in their respective states, both Colorado and Texas. And that's who Abbott placed in charge of our school district. But you know what people didn't know? People didn't know that this dude was also going to find a technique to move the cash-rich system here in Texas schools and find a way to funnel it to the failed schools he had in Colorado. That's who is your administrator, Houston. Get off your butts and do something about that. That's your administration. Neil, come on in. I see you pointing at me.
So let me just make a couple points. So one of the inequities have been furthered. One of the things that Mike Miles has cut are wraparound services. This was announced last week. I'm currently reading the Houston Landing. HISD's plan to eliminate more than 100 wraparound specialists, distributing coats, hygiene kits, bus passes, food to 80. The state designates 80% of children as economically disadvantaged. So the city, HISD is cutting these wraparound specialists. When he first came in, Miles said that was not on the table, the cutting of the wraparound. It's an extremely valued service. The state has a giant budget surplus. In the last week, State Representative John Rosenthal, who represents Cypress, got 39 legislators to sign a letter to Governor Abbott about increasing funding for the schools. Abbott replied, "Oh, no, this isn't my fault. He's been governor, and the Republicans have been there forever. He's been governor now for many years. Oh, no, it's not my fault." And he's saying the way to get the more money for the public schools is to approve his voucher plan. So he's holding this money hostage, and you have to approve these vouchers. So they'll continue to gut public schools, and the vouchers will enable you to go to your private or religious school. And just imagine those cuts in rural areas. And it's the rural legislators who haven't wanted these cuts to public education, and they won't have any options. So Egberto just said, get off your butt and do something. Community Voices for Public Education, a woman named Ruth Kravitz, has been doing really great work in keeping the pressure on and opposing the takeover. You may have seen there were 400 people at Meyerland Elementary, I believe it is, who had a demonstration this week. There have been cuts. A principal of the year was cut. A teacher was cut. Many teachers have been cut. Many principals, these wraparound specialists. The Republicans won't. I've written in the Houston Democracy Project blog that Mayor Whitmire keeps talking about his great connections with the state. He should use his connections with the state to get some of this money. Getting off your butt. This Saturday at City Hall at 10 o'clock will be a rally against the takeover. A woman named Corey Flores, who is a parent, a mom at Briar Grove Elementary. This is all public on the Facebook page at 10 o'clock. It has a number of people going and attended. I think there'll be some elected officials there. Call your city council person, ask them to address this. This is a huge city issue. They'll say, hey, no, it's HISD. No, it's a city issue. But City Hall, Houston City Hall, this Saturday, May 18th, a march on the sidewalk in front of City Hall from 10 to 11 o'clock. Wear your school shirts, colors. And I think it's going to be a well-publicized rally, and we need to keep the heat on.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate that. Okay, I tell you what, I just looked at the screen and forgot. Harry, sorry for keeping you holding that long. Give me a couple minutes, Harry, but we got to get moving. Thank you for calling in, brother. Come on in, Harry.
That's okay, Berto. Because it's important what Neil Aquino just said there. People who care about their public schools need to get out there and protest. I talked about this a few weeks ago. I've talked about this issue with Steve Hunter and you in the past, and I believe the mayor of Politics Done Right has also talked about it. I've seen this movie before. It was a little different, but in California, where I grew up in the Bay Area, I'm sure you remember Proposition 13. Ronald Reagan and Howard. Yes, they did that to destroy the public school that I went to, and that kicked in the year I graduated out of the 6th grade into the 7th grade to cut funding for programs. So unfortunately, my brother Alan, who's feeling a little bit better, Egberto's lying here next to me.
Alan, get better, Alan. Hurry, get better, my brother. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
He said thank you. But yeah, he didn't get to enjoy some of the things that I got to enjoy during that period in 1978 when that Proposition 13 kicked in. Now, Jack Van Dever, good morning, Jack. Good morning, Howard. Good morning, Neil. And good morning, Sandy. Jack Van Dever's right. Mike Miles is a snake in the grass. The head snake in the grass, as you just pointed out, Egberto, is Greg Abbott, and I mentioned this a few weeks ago. Greg Abbott's term is up in 2 years?
Yes.
Yes.
So people here in Texas, you're gonna have to vote him out and vote in a progressive, so he can't appoint any more snakes like Mike Miles, who are trying to destroy the HISD school system. Because, like I said, they want the black and brown families to move away. So, because that area used to be red, and they want to turn it red again because it's blue now, and that's the grand plan of Governor Greg Abbott. So,
all right, I'm going to cut you off here, Brother Harry. Love you, but I need to run to Sandy to do some pitching. Okay. We got to raise some monies, and we're still at zero. Thank you very much, my dear brother. But this is your home at 6 a.m. You take care, brother. Let's go to Sandy. Come on in, Sandy.
Hey, Egberto, we're still waiting on that first pledge on this Wednesday morning as the sun is beginning to come on up and the skies are lightening over Houston. Come on, folks. We got to have $300 goal. And so far, as Egberto alluded to, you have a donut hole, Egberto. That's a zero. That's a
I'm so hurt.
That's not. Yeah, well, it's not you. It's for the station, and we all ride this bus together. We got one KPFT, we got one microphone, we got one transmitter, and we have one very generous audience out there that has supported all of this for 54 plus years.
Sandy.
This is a great morning not to break the chain. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, did at least, I'm crying right now, did at least somebody call the number to make sure that it's working? That I can't believe nobody has given us anything yet to support this great station. Did we call and check?
Sometimes it takes a little bit for people to figure out that we're in Fund Drive, and sometimes it takes a little bit for people to get to the phone. And we're hoping that you've had time to do that now, maybe ingest that first cup of coffee. If you call up now and you put down $120, we will send you that stainless steel tumbler, 32-ounce tumbler with our logo on it. It's Yeti-like, and it's something that you can carry around with you to show your support for KPFT. For $100, you can get a KPFT 419 Love It t-shirt. For those of you that just found KPFT, we're in a new studio as of, it's not even 2 years yet on Caroline Street, but our other home was on 419 Love It for not quite 50 years, long time. And we had to abandon that building because it literally crumbled from underneath us. It was a more than 100-year-old building in Houston. And if you're familiar with architecture and building down in this part of the country, that's an unusually old building for around here. $100 for that Love It t-shirt. It's a great line drawing that was done by Lars Hendrington, former programmer at KPFT. We also have one of the new studio, the Caroline studios. It too is $100. You can put those together and get them both for $180 or $15 a month. That's simple. And remember, if you make that $15 a sustaining pledge, we'll add on $58 from those that are incentivizing you to become a sustainer and help us with the longevity of KPFT. 713-526-5738. Looking for that first call. Could that be you? Come on. 713-526-5738 or click on the donate button at kpft.org. I believe the software is working, Egberto. It's just people think Thursday. They're planning their weekend out. And over the weekend, you might want to go see a show. We have super amounts of concert tickets as thank yous too. Thank you to Susan Darrow for getting that together. Blues Traveler and Big Head Todd, August 1st at the 713 Music Hall. Squeeze Boy George, same venue, August 29th. We have, it looks like 4 pair of tickets left. And I believe there's only 1 pair of tickets left for Charlie Crockett on September 3rd at the 713. So if you want that, call up and grab it because it's going to be gone real soon. There are other tickets too, but these are thank yous. This is stuff. And the shows are real fine and you leave with a smile. But the biggest smile, the biggest thank you is you get to keep community radio in Houston, commercial free. Who would have thought we would have been here for 54 years already on the basis of people calling up and just saying, it's worth it. Here's some money. Please keep going. That's exactly what it's been. We've had our ups and downs over those 54 years. Right now, All we're trying to do is get through the summer and head toward 55 next spring. And we need your help to do it. 713-526-5738. So be kind, do $5 or $10 a month, do a one-time pledge of whatever amount you would like, but do support this radio station. $300 goal. And right now, all we need is $300 to get there, Egberto.
All right. Please, folks, 713-526-5738. We have my brother from another mother on the line right now. I wonder if Brian going to give me a hard time today. Brian, how you doing today, my brother from another mother?
Fine. I'm feeling fine. How about you?
I'm doing fine, brother. Talk to me.
Thanks, Jack, and everybody that volunteers to come in and do the program. Find people to deal with. Y'all should donate. If you hear me, donate some money. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. If somebody donates $100, I'll quit calling for a week.
No. Oh, whoa. That's not valid. You're an integral part of this show, so you got to take that one off.
Okay. Well, it was just a thought,
Wait. If someone donates $10,000, maybe we can do it then.
We love Brian. Are you kidding me?
Great thought. Yeah. Come on, Brian.
No. Come on. Yeah. So everybody should donate. Even though I disagree almost 100% with everything y'all say, I still give up some money. So.
And Brian, I appreciate that, but let me tell you something, Brian. I want to say one thing. You can tell everybody on air as much as you want how much you disagree with us, okay? But I know deep in your heart there are many things you probably won't say it. But there are many things that you agree with. You just won't say it, brother. But go ahead. Continue, man.
No, I 100%, almost 100% disagree with you. Economics,
okay.
Politics, schooling, political values, ideas. I'm 90% against you. And by the way,
okay.
I'm older than you. So
you're what?
I'm older than you.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right.
Somebody donate some money. So
thank you, brother. I appreciate you, Brian. Let's go to, I know the next caller is the mayor of Politics Done Right, my brother also from another mother, from the other side of the spectrum, which is the one and only Johnny.
Hey, I really like Brian's offer. It's very tempting. But you know what? Brian, all you got to do is quit doing gotchas for a week or 3. How about that? Oh, by the way, here's a puzzle for Brian. Brian, what's the difference between a snake in the grass and Greg Abbott in a wheelchair? What's the difference?
No, I don't know. You tell me.
Okay, I thought maybe he was still here. He might want to take a guess. Okay, here's the answer. The snake in the grass is just trying to sun himself.
Correct. Keep on, Johnny. Keep on. You always take me for a loop, my brother. Oh, whoa. What happened to Johnny? I thought he had some more to say. Anyway. All right, Neil, why don't you chime in, Neil, before we continue?
Very good. With Brian, you were trying to pull a Barry Goldwater. In your heart, you know I'm right. Remember, that was his 1964 slogan. I'm not dating myself. I wasn't around for it. And the reply to Goldwater was, in your gut, you know he's nuts. I think was the Democratic reply. We're in a pledge week, and this show is sustained by a lot of volunteer energy. Alternative structures are very difficult to maintain, and it needs your help. It needs your donation to do so. A lot of preparation goes into this program. This program is very listener centered. Listeners have the capacity to call, change the focus if there are things that they're not that they want to talk about, because of listener demand for more local content. Egberto asked me to come on Thursdays. We talk about local politics every Thursday, Houston and Harris County politics. There are not many forums for that. We've talked about the HCAT elections. We've talked about the firefighters contract. We're talking about HISD. We've talked about city council and municipal elections through much of last year. And we're able to have that programming because of donations to KP FT that sustain the program. I'm a donor myself. Egberto is. There's a $300 pledge goal for today, and we encourage you to help it out.
Now we got one pledge from an existing member. Thank you, Ravi Ferreira from right here from Houston, Texas, so kindly. Thank you for that contribution to KPFT. Now, I love to see when folks give, but let me just tell you, sometimes I don't want to call it a burden, but we drive the same group of people give all of the times, which we need, right? But at the same time, we need new people to call in. We want our regular folks to keep giving. Look, we want it. I keep giving. Neil keeps giving. Sandy keeps giving. Howard, Jack keeps giving. But we also need new people to come in. So if you could give us a call at 713, I'm going to continue with the charter schools in a little bit. 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to give. I have Tag on the phone right now. Tag, come on in, and then we'll continue with our short pitch.
Hey, Egberto.
You're on. Good morning, my brother.
I just wanted to ask a question. Why is it that everybody in this country thinks we need to coddle the rich? You know what I'm saying here?
Oh, I know somebody told me the answer. I always wondered that, right? Somehow we're always doing that. And the guy said, because the narrative of this country is that everybody has access to be rich. And if they get that access to be rich, they want to make sure that there are no policies passed that are going to get them, because now they believe that's what they can be. But I've written some blogs, Tag, to show the numerical impossibility of many of us being rich. And I'm just saying it's a mathematical impossibility for all of us to have the kind of wealth that these folks have. And the reason why is the way the wealth grows in this country is on the back of everybody else. And it's so hard to explain that, but it's on the back of everybody else. I need to thank Kel. Let's see if I can say the name out for announce first. I want to thank Kelvin. Thank you so kindly, Kelvin, for your contribution. He says, keep up the good work. Very informative. Thank you so kindly, Kelvin, for your support. Yeah, Tag. So that's what I was told, right? I was told like everybody has that belief that they can be rich. But then I come back with the answer that it is mathematically impossible for too many of us to be rich. And because based on how go ahead.
No, let me ask you this. Is the health and well-being of the United States really that dependent on the upper 1%?
No, absolutely not. In fact, the upper 1% does little for the economic success of the country. The economic success of this country, go look. Everybody that's listening to my voice right now, look in the mirror. I mean that. Whether you are out there hitting the pavement and working hard, and even those of you that are on temporary assistance, you are the drivers of this economy. And if you want to know that, we did an experiment to prove that. It's called the pandemic. And it's amazing how every corporation that worked on these issues frailed and went begging to we the people to keep it active, right? Because on their own, they are nothing. No matter how big the corporate, Exxon had a time it was giving away oil, right? Look, we are all agents. We are all stakeholders in our economy. But we have an economy that rewards only those who control or have the capital. Continue, Tag.
Well, I think based on that, this ideal, this train of thought, it comes right down to that our economy and our health and well-being is more dependent on the 99% than it is on the 1%.
No doubt.
And
no doubt.
The next link in that is that our government is the next one who really keeps our economy afloat and keeps us safe that way. And then the upper 1% is someplace down the list, way down the list. So we need to give ourselves more credit for, keeping our country afloat, the 99%, which is most of it.
Brother, I love you, man. You nailed it.
Not kowtow to the damn 1%. Why do they need the tax cuts? They're making plenty of money, and I understand if you make $100 billion a year, yeah, you're paying a lot of tax. We can't deny that, but nothing compared to what somebody that's making $30,000-$40,000 a year makes. Their percentage is just crazy. So,
but Tag, I hate to interrupt like this, but I don't, it's not in our imagination. It's not in the way we think, in our psyche, to really believe how much each of us are really worth. When you see that guy sweeping the floor on the streets. Look, I'm going to tell you, I suffered from the same disease myself. Okay. I went to school and I became a professional business or all this. That was that was what I like to do, but it was also ego, right? And then you see the person sweeping the floor and they say like, well, I'm not sweeping the floor. But the truth of the matter is, for me to get my education, I did all of that. Swept floor, wash dishes, all that good stuff, right? But if we don't have those who are washing dishes, sweeping floors, emptying garbages or whatever, none of us survives. So I learned a lot of humility over the years with things that have happened to me, and me honestly looking to those who saved my butt. And those who saved my butt weren't all engineers, lawyers, and doctors, but people who swept floors and washed dishes and all that kind. We're all an integral part of this economy. And this isn't me trying to create, yes, it's a utopia if we did it right, but this is not trying to say that the doctor should be making a lot more than the burger flipper because of how much he had to work for that, right? Yes, I agree with that. But that burger flipper deserves to have a wage that allows them to survive and live an honest life, because I need to eat that burger as well. So, brother, you nailed it. The 1% has little value in the scope of everything that we have as a society. Tag, I got to go to Ray. Anything else before I go?
I could go on and on. You know me, but have a good day, Egberto.
Thank you, Tag. You have a wonderful day. Ray, come on in, my bro. Oh, before I go, I did thank Kelvin. Hey, guys, we have 2 contributions, but we're still way short. Please give us a call at 713-526-5738. If you hear the happiness in my voice, it's because I'm not embarrassed with the big 0. You guys have saved the day. But the 2 people that have donated so far are existing. I want more existing members to donate. But please, newcomers, listeners for the first time, please make that commitment to call 713-526-5738. And also, please go ahead and go to kpft.org and select Politics Done Right as a show you're supporting, and give a contribution of, $5 a month, $10 a month, the sustainers that Sandy's talking about, or go ahead and take our t-shirt, $120. Brother Ray, how is my favorite guy from Third Ward doing?
Mi hermano, I was just listening to the brother earlier, and you know what? It made me want to bring up some Bible scripture real quick. Matthew 19:20 says that it is easier for a camel to walk through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God. Yet there are so many Christians that aspire to be rich, but they don't want to hear that scripture. Your thoughts? You're
absolutely right. Before I became a humanist, I was a devout Christian. I was ran the youth choir, all that good stuff, and so I lived the Christian life and I learned all those things, Ray. So you're absolutely right. In fact, to some extent, I think Christianity polluted my economics, because anytime I started making a lot, it was all about giving the damn thing away, right? People laugh at me when I felt guilty for charging certain things for the product that I created. And there are a lot of people out there just like you, brother, just like you, that you came up and just pulled out that verse. It's not rich envy. It's understanding worth and the worth of your fellow man. That's what it's all about, man. So you nailed it, Ray. Come on in.
Yeah, and basically, the man is right. We coddle the rich because there are so many people out here that say, well, what happens if I get rich And what if happens if, no, they say, what happened if you get rich? How would you feel if everybody is coming for your fortune and your riches that you worked and toiled and went so hard for? You know what? If you
hold on a second, I got to give a station ID. This is KPFT 90.1 FM Houston. It's on the hour, so I had to do that. Sorry, Ray, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So I mean, basically, a lot of people are scared. They are fooled and bamboozled into believing that we have to coddle the rich because one day we might be there and we wouldn't they want us to empathize with the rich. Why?
Right. But you know something, Ray? Ray, you know something? Ray, let me interrupt you a second. Let me tell you something, Ray. And then I'm going to ask Neil to chime in. But here's this thing, Ray. America don't really understand what our rich really look like. And I'm not talking about what they look like. I'm talking about how much they actually have. You know, they make you believe like we're coming for somebody who have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 million bucks in the bank or 500,000 in the bank and all. That's not what we're talking about. The filthy rich in this country, you don't know who they are. Yeah, we know who Gates is and we know who Bezos is and those guys. But the powerhouse, the wealthy, the amount of money that the folks that really are the ones controlling our economic system, other than them, you don't know how rich they are. It makes what we think are millionaires look like paupuses. That's the reality, and it's those people that we need to be after. Not the people who have $5 million in the bank. All the rich is doing is scaring those $5 million people to think they're going to lose something. It's those people that really take advantage of our system we're talking about. Hey, hold on a second, Ray. 713-526-5738. Folks, we need your support and we are well behind schedule. Could you please give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to give. Can you afford $5 a month? If you've never given to KPFT, can you do $5 a month? Can you do $10 a month, which is what I'm doing? Can you do 15 a month, 25 a month? Can you decide, I want to have coffee with Egberto as a thank you gift? So I'm going to give $250 and get his quota done right away. I promise you we'll have fun together, drinking that good cup of coffee and talking whatever the hell you want to talk about and more. And I'm very easy to talk to. We have a lot of fun. Ask Ray and all these guys. We have a lot of fun together. Neil, don't we have a lot of fun together?
We do. And because we speak the truth and because everyone has a voice, you know, there's no rich benefactor coming in and saving KPFT, right? This isn't the home of the super rich. It's the home of the average listener, the average donor. That's what sustains the program. There are just 1 or 2 paid employees of the whole station. The money donated to KPF2 Politics done right stays in the station, sustains politics done right. And here on Thursday mornings, we have I'm here every Thursday morning. I'm privileged to be so. I appreciate it. Talk about the Houston
call out your website because I want people to be going to your website. It's important.
Right. Yes. And the Houston Democracy Project, the HoustonDemocracyProject.com, the HoustonDemocracyProject.com, this daily blog. I also attend meetings. I'm part of the John Cornyn Houston office protest, part of a lot of things. And I'm sustained through that website, Houston Democracy Project. And we talk about local politics. And just like KPFT, I have an autonomous voice, and I can criticize people if need be, criticize people on our own side of the aisle if need be.
Thank you very much, Neil. Anyway, Ray, give me a closer before I jump to Theo.
Basically, I just want to say we're not going after like all the millionaires. So like I said one time before, we're not concerned with the football players and the entertainers. We're concerned with the owners and the producers and the bigwigs that's sitting on the old money. That's the money we trying to take back. And I'm
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. Great words. Theo, come on in, Theo. Folks, call 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Need a lot more coming in, folks. We need a lot more coming in. Please give us a call. This is how we sustain the station. Theo, come on in.
Hello.
This is my first time listening to this radio station, and quite frankly, I'm a bit awestruck right now because this is the first time I've ever had the opportunity to be on the radio. But I am a follower of Christ, and I want to say that thank you for the work that you do. And I just want to tell everyone out there that's listening right now that you're going to have an absolutely amazing day today, because even if the beginning of your day wasn't that good, you can always just start again. Just put your phone down, turn your phone off, and just sit with Jesus for 30 seconds, a few minutes, and I promise everything's going to get better. So,
well, Theo, thank you for those words of kindness and enlightenment for people. I think it's important for us to all feel positive about doing something. So thank you so kindly for your call, my brother.
Absolutely no worries. I actually have a question, one final question, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Could you talk to us, the audience, and myself? How did you find Jesus Christ? What's your story like?
Okay, let me just tell you that I believe in Jesus. I believe in all the prophets. I was a Christian, but now I am a humanist. That's a long story. But since you are a new caller to this program, a new listener to this program, chime in later on and we'll talk about that. I promise you that. Okay?
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. I'm actually going to have to go now anyway.
All right. Thank you, sir. You have a wonderful day. Anyway, folks, 713-526-5738, extension 1. We're stuck at 2 contributions. Can we end the show, which is going to be ending in the next 10 minutes or so, with 5 more calls? Please, we need your support. Go to kpft.org, select Politics Done Right, select the donate button, select Politics Done Right as the program you're supporting, and let's continue building new users. We need you. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. $5 a month, $10 a month, $15 a month. Sandy, take it over.
Egberto, and thanks to Kelvin and Robbie for getting us started this morning. We have a $300 goal on this program. We're still about $120 away from that number, and we'd like to even exceed that, and then we'll get to Democracy Now! But folks, we need you to call. To continue KPFT, it takes all of us. If you're listening, like the gentleman that just called, or maybe the first time, this is your community radio station. You call up, you get yourself on the air. It's a little bit unusual if you think about it in terms of the possibilities. We're here every day for you doing this. 6 a.m., Monday to Friday. Egberto is up. He's a volunteer. He gets out of bed early. He gets himself on the air, and he has a community that he's building, listening to this program. That community, if you're listening and you're part of it, please acknowledge that this costs a little bit of money. In fact, KPFT stays on the air. It requires $52,000 a month. During this drive, what we're trying to do is just stock up for the next 3 months to continue paying all our bills. That's something that I insist on. We're not going to go and slight any of the vendors that make it possible. You pay your obligations, you pay your way through life, and hopefully you're able to do that with the income that you have. Our, quote, income is the money that people donate. At least 95% or more of it comes through these fund drives. We have a little bit of underwriting, maybe accounting for 1 to 2% of our total annual needs, and a few dollars in grant money that come our way. But 95% or more comes from you, the listener, doing fund drives. These are critical moments right now that are escaping us. By not taking action, if we fall short, I guess we don't pay the electric bill, Egberto. How do you think that would go for us?
Well, a 100,000 watt transmitter needs electricity.
Yeah, you bet, right? There's a coin slot at the top, and Howard has to go out there every morning, every afternoon, every evening, and sometime a little bit later toward midnight and drop coins in it to keep us going. Not quite, but you get the picture. $52,000 a month. That's the average cost to keep us on the air, reflected in the budget that was passed for 2024 by our local station board, and will be passed again hopefully on this year's board. I've just handed them the document for fiscal 25, and they're going to be meeting and considering that document. But none of the numbers on the piece of paper matter unless the folks out there heed the call give us a call and make us whole toward our goal this morning. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. If you've seen our logo, it's on our website, kpft.org. The rainbow logo with the headphones, it's a very colorful logo that was installed in 2020, and a nice one. That's on a shirt, that's on a mug, that's on that tumbler. That's on a lot of different things that you can get as thank you gifts. $100 gets you the shirt, and I think it's a $90 donation for the mug. Whatever it is that you decide, when you carry that around, it speaks volumes to those that see you, and they go, "Oh, what's that?" Oh, that's the logo of our community radio station, KPFT, the oldest FM station in Houston. I gave some money, and they sent me this coffee cup. And you should do the same. That's the kind of conversation you might have. We need you, though, to make that call. We can't do it for you. The phone number again is 713-526-5738. Hit option 1 or go to kpft.org and click donate. We're rapidly running out of time, and we're looking to hear from you. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. Egberto?
Yeah, folks, most of you have cable. Most of you have cable, and you pay $100 a month, $200 a month or more. And I am sure that the cable companies never ask you what you want. I am sure the cable company never takes input from you. I'm sure you can't call in to any of those programs you see on the cable company. You don't have agency with them. You give them money, they give you a program. Here, it's different. We ask you for a tiny bit of money, a fraction of what you give to the cable company, of which you have input. You just heard the caller who just talked about Jesus. He called in. He got a platform. He said, he was excited. The first time I heard your station, the first time I heard it, I wanted to call in. And immediately he got agency. Immediately he was able to put out his message on air. He loves his religion, and he was able to show his excitement for that, something that he showed to a broader audience. We have Brian that calls in, diametrically opposed to many of the things that I believe in, but he have his beliefs and he wants an outlet to put that out. He's able to do that. We have brother Johnny that calls in. He is a staunch progressive like I am. He gets a platform. We have all of us, the family here at KPFT. We have different ideologies. We prove that people can work together. We are America. We are America with all its functions and dysfunctions, but we are a place where that can be exercised, and we can show that it can be exercised well. We can show that we can be that template. Everybody that's living a stressful life right now wants to start to see kernels of progress out there. That's who we are at KPFT, with function and dysfunction. That's who we are. And what we're asking, folks, isn't this the type of thing you should be supporting? Isn't this the kind of thing that you want to support? Isn't this the kind of things that make you feel that warm feeling for supporting? 713-526-5738, extension number 1. We always ask ourselves, why are things this way? How can we make it better? Earlier on, you heard Neil Aquino talk about, you can actually get up and talk. You can actually get up and do something about it. KPFT as well expands your voice, your reach. If politicians hear enough of you come on air here and say, I want X, Y, or Z, or Y, Mike Miles is terrorizing a school district, and enough people do that, and enough people know that they're out there, you have that platform here. Isn't it worth giving that platform a coffee, 2 coffees, 3 coffees a month? I mean, I think it is. I know it is. So please, don't wait for the other person. Don't wait for all these existing members that call in over and over again, because they know how important this is, and they give and they give and they give. Can you join that set of members as well? Can you join the PDR posse? Can we be that light out there? 526-5738. I know that many of you out there want to. I know that. So let's go ahead. I only have 2 minutes left. 713-526-5738. You can go to kpft.org and select donate even after I get off. Go to kpft.org, select donate. Please remember to put that it's in the name of politics done right. Of course, I don't get anything. It's all for the station. But please go ahead and remember kpft.org. Hit that donate button. Select politics done right as the program that really encouraged you to give. And please call right now as well, 713-526-5738, extension number 1, and let them know that you want to give whatever you can. And again, in the name of politics done right. Let me ask Neil. Neil, give me a quick closer.
Great. Early voting starts the 20th through the 24th for the 28th runoffs. Please visit HoustonDemocracy.com. Please contribute to Politics Done Right. It's your show, your platform.
Thank you kindly, brother. Let's go to the manager, Sandy. Come on in.
Thank you, Egberto, and thank you for what you do. You're listening to the voices of volunteers. This is not a paid gig, people. Even my job, interim general manager, is rewarded only with a small amount of money, which amounts to gasoline running back and forth from where I live to downtown where our studios are. We are volunteer driven. We've got one full-time employee. The budget is cut to the bone. What we cannot afford is to fail on any given fund drive. And when you don't call, that's exactly what happens. Please do make that call. We could use your voice, hear from you. We're still short of our goal by, $120 this morning that we're short. So one person doing $10 a month on a sustaining basis would get us there. Don't forget, we've got all these great thank yous. The biggest thank you is KPFT having this freedom to have these discussions where maybe other media outlets won't. Lots of talk shows on the AM and on the AM band, especially in Houston, but consider who they're coming from and how they're driven. They're commercially oriented. They're there to make money. They could care less about the discussion and more about poking you and getting you excited about something you really don't need to be excited about to begin with. Having a calm, rational discussion amongst us and coming to compromise is the way to get there. Egberto, thank you for what you do. It looks like you've got one more thank you. So
Karen, Derek, thank you so kindly for that. So that kind contribution. You got us a little bit closer there, a little bit closer. 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate. Please do so in the name of Politics Done Right, or go to kpft.org, select the donate button, select Politics Done Right as a program, and you can contribute that way. Likewise, folks, for the program, we gave you a program with the teachers, everything else. But for what we didn't cover, go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. I got to get out of here or Howard is going to have my head. So therefore, I'm back to the studio with the juniors and then we close out.
Oh, okay. I had to wake up here. No, I'm just kidding. We were so busy in the control room doing things. Do we just, well, Jack, what you got, man? As you close it out, I got nothing.
Government is the instrument of corporate will.
And that should close it out for now. Sandy, thank you. Egberto, thank you. We're going to join not Politics Done Right. We're going to join Democracy Now! In progress here on KPOT Houston.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number 1, subscribe to our channel, and number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.